We're Break the Cycle Global. We're creating sustainable solutions of hope in East Africa. We're empowering local African communities by building new schools with your help. In addition to an excellent education, kids are receiving food, clothing, and medical supplies, sadly for many, for the first time. But you can help make a difference. As little as $1 a day can help a child have access to these basic needs. Donate online today and help us give hope to East Africa. You can learn more about all of our projects by visiting breakthecycleglobal.org.
Hamjambo, welcome from East Africa. I'm John Kellogg, Director of Break the Cycle Global. Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes to share a little of the vision, mission, and some of the strategy we're using to work together with our friends in East Africa. Kenya is a very beautiful place, and only more beautiful are the people who live in it. Unfortunately, there are areas that are still very challenged economically and culturally. I notice the Soroptimists believe, as do we, that education is one of the fundamental building blocks to help women and children have an opportunity to reach their full potential and change their cultures to ones that are thriving instead of surviving. We use a Christian Montessori teaching method to breathe destiny and purpose into our staff and the children they serve. With that in mind, I would like to briefly introduce you to some of our administrative staff, a couple of our teachers, the particular challenges they face, as well as a couple stories of our children. Staria is a great example of an amazing Samburu girl with a huge heart full of love for children. At 23, she is a single mom with 3 young ones of her own. Out of the kindness of her heart, she was teaching these children under a tree for the past few years until we invited her to bring them into our building and begin schooling them there. I'm happy to say that she is now a part of our teacher training program, and I will tell you a bit more about that in a minute. By training and hiring her as a teacher, we are able to help her provide for her family's needs while bringing change to future generations. It's important for us to find teachers from the same tribe and region, as they are more aware of the needs particular to their tribe and locale. I have a special place in my heart for the Samburu people. They have graciously given us 5 acres to develop and made me a managing member of the Nkotea Conservancy. But more important, this tribe of shepherds and warriors have given us an opportunity to breathe destiny and purpose into their children. Though some of the cultural practices are hard to understand, we have been given an opportunity to help bring change where needed. One of the cultural challenges we are dealing with is the young girls are circumcised between the ages of 9 and 11, and many married within days. Soon they're having babies and stuck in a cycle with no opportunity for education or to live full and productive lives. One way this is being overcome is offering education. Slowly, we are seeing some openness to changing these ancient cultural practices. Also in Suradoru, there is no running water, power, or medical facilities nearby, and most people have no means of transport besides walking. We also face wildlife challenges as the elephants continue to knock down the fence around our school building. Once we receive the needed funding, we will fence the outside of our 5 acres with an electric wire powered by solar, which will provide better security for the children from these wildlife disturbances. Now let's transition to Mathari, the oldest slum in Nairobi, Kenya. I would like to introduce you to Cleopa Adele Otieno, who is the National Director of our schools in East Africa. We were able to help him complete university, and he has proven himself to be a trustworthy, wise, and kind leader for our Christian Montessori program. Rafael Opondo is our head administrator and loved by teachers and students alike. He is the one the children, many who have no father, look to and trust with their deepest secrets. These two lead our group of teachers and assistants, as well as facilitate our Christian Montessori Teacher Training Center located in the heart of this slum. It is small and simple, But through technology, we have been able to harness the power of the internet, online training videos, and an incredible U.S. facilitator, none other than one of your own, Norma Morris. She has helped to train 5 teachers this year, and as we are able to find scholarships, we'll train another 10 teachers in 2019. This allows us to expand our footprint in this slum of over 500,000 people. We have an amazing group of teachers serving the children in our schools in East Africa, and I would like to introduce you to a couple more who have agreed I can share a small part of their stories, with the point being that though they have each experienced huge obstacles in their lives, they are taking advantage of the opportunity we have given them and are working very hard to learn the skills and gain the education required to be certified as a Montessori teacher. This empowers them not only to make a living to care for their families, but also an opportunity to create a positive environment in the middle of what you will see as a very challenged and dark location, giving these children an opportunity to be productive and thrive, not being swallowed up by their surroundings. Evelyn Odongo is 22 years old and single, having left a physically abusive relationship to protect herself and her child. She finished her secondary education and is currently working as a teacher assistant, wanting to join Norma's 2019 Christian Montessori teacher training class.
Hey, I'm Evelyn Achille. I am 22 years old, live in Mathari. I would like to thank the Break the Cycle Global for giving me this chance to work with the children to support myself. I would like to join the Christian Montessori to train as a teacher. Thank you.
Meet Lillian Adiambo. She's 30 years old and finished her secondary level education along with some college. She's single as she was in an abusive situation and has one daughter, Georgina, who is 8 years old.
Hi, I'm Awino Lillian. I'm 30 years old. I would like to take this great opportunity to thank Break the Cycle Global. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the organization for giving me the opportunity to work with children at Mathari. I would also like to join Christian Montessori School to work as a teacher. Thank you.
Leia Lubanga, born and raised in Mathari Mabatini, is still living just a few steps from our school with her mom and sister. She's a single mom with a 2-year-old son named Jabril and is expected to be one of our graduating class of 2018 from our teacher training center.
I'm Leia Andeso, born and raised in Mathari. I want to take this opportunity to thank Break the Circle Global for giving me a chance to work. Also, I take this golden opportunity to thank the organization for giving me an opportunity to study with Christian Montessori.
Our students are some of the most beautiful children in the world, and as I show you pictures of them in our school in the slum, I'll tell you a few stories. Our classrooms are places of security and light in a very dark place. Our children live in small tin structures with no running water, no bathrooms, no power, just a tin room that probably leaks in the rain. We provide porridge in the morning and a hot lunch every day. Most likely the only food the children receive, and it's definitely the most nutritious. Many are living with a grandparent or single mom. Some are actually orphaned with nowhere to go, and we help to facilitate their care. We have seen real positive changes in the lives of our children and have also been able to help their family situations. Cleopa and Raphael meet with the parents or caregivers and work to help them improve their situations. We've even started some adult classes to help the parents. I'll use only first names and not show faces, but tell a couple of stories as it's really all one needs to understand the desperateness of this situation. We have about 100 children in our school in Mathari and always gather the little children together first thing in the morning to observe if any seem particularly distressed or sick. Because of our reputation in the area, the local hospital has given us vouchers to use to provide care for those who are in need. One particular morning, we noticed Patricia was not looking well. Her mom has no real education and is often out through the night hours, leaving Patricia with different people. We took Patricia to the hospital, who confirmed our fears that she was being sexually abused at 4 years old. We were able to speak with the mother and work out a situation that created a safer place for Patricia. Damien is a 4.5-year-old boy whose father had mental problems and was very abusive towards the whole family and violent. Working together with authorities, the father has had to leave the family, and though Damien's mom is now single and struggling, he's able to continue in the school as generous donors are covering his tuition. Warren has had a breathing problem from birth, and in our morning observations, we're able to see when he's struggling and use a hospital voucher to get this young 5-year-old the care that he needs. The point of these stories is to highlight the many different roles we play in caring for the children in these communities. We are not just an educational facility, but are caring for these families and children in a very holistic way. Many times we are providing the first medical care these little children have ever received. They receive vaccinations and other preventive care like mosquito nets to help protect the children from malaria, which is a killer among the young children. We provide food and nourishment so these young ones can grow physically and not suffer the consequences of being stunted physically and mentally from malnutrition. Before coming to our school, our children would spend their days wandering through this slum at risk of falling prey to those who would take advantage of them. We are in many cases advocates for the children's safety in dysfunctional family situations, even going to authorities when needed. It's so exciting to see the impact we are already having in just a few years. Parents are seeing their children growing stronger physically and mentally. They are seeing the effects of their children being in a loving, safe, and caring environment as we breathe destiny and purpose into their hearts and minds. We believe we have created a system that is duplicatable and scalable and now just requires the fuel of finance to grow. In Mathari, we have only a single school serving 100 children in a slum of 500,000 people. Our goal is to train enough teachers to open one new school in Mathari every year and change this slum from a place of survival into a community that is thriving. The same goes for Samburu, Kenya, and Nyakesi, Uganda, where we also have schools. We are making a difference in the lives of the women of these communities by giving them training and jobs, as well as preparing a new generation of educated young boys and girls that will lead their generation into a more productive and prosperous future. Would you consider being part of this story?
Hands up, hands up, hands down, hands down. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Follow the leader.
So on behalf of the leadership, the administration, the teachers, and all the children that we serve in East Africa, Asante Sana, Asante Kabisa, thank you so much for giving me this time this evening to share with you a little bit about the work that we're doing in East Africa. Would love to have you partner with us as you see that we align with helping the women and the children in these marginalized and very poor areas to help break the cycle of poverty, to help educate these young minds so as they grow that they will change their cultures from the inside out.